This image could finally solve one of the biggest mysteries in American history. What happened to Amelia Earhart? Earhart was a true pioneer. By 25, she had flown higher than any woman ever. More records followed. First woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. First woman to fly solo across the Pacific.
Well, it was very interesting to me to fly in southern waters rather than in the north.
Amelia Earhart, foremost woman flyer, was presented with a bouquet.
By 1937, she was arguably the most famous woman in the world, especially after announcing her biggest challenge yet, a circumnavigation around the entire globe. Along with her navigator, Fred Noonan, they headed west, and 22,000 miles later, they'd reached Papua New Guinea. Only 3 flights remained. The first was from Papua New Guinea to the tiny Howland Island for a quick refuel. But the duo never made it to Howland.
The mysterious end to the career of America's flying sweetheart.
On 2nd of July 1937, the two sent a distress message that they were close, but running short on fuel and in bad weather. And then there was silence. A huge search and rescue operation was launched immediately. Not a clue was found, officially at least, because almost immediately the confusing mix of facts, myths, and outright hoaxes began to whip up a frenzy. As one biographer later said, she had been famous, but by vanishing, she became legendary. Reports from radio operators across the US claimed they'd heard Earhart calling for help days after she went missing. Most were dismissed as wishful thinking or cruel hoaxes. She was declared legally dead in 1939, but the theory mill was just getting started. One was that she'd been on a secret spying mission for President Franklin Roosevelt and been captured and executed by the Japanese. The most outlandish suggested that she'd survived the Saipan prisoner of war camp and then assumed a false identity back in the US to live out a quieter life in New Jersey. But the decades without the mystery being solved only fueled the legend of Amelia Earhart. One of the more credible theories was that they'd crash-landed on a small island of Nikumaroro, about 400 miles from Howland. Less credibly, that they were eaten by coconut crabs. Bones found there in 1940, since lost, have been the subject of heated debate about whether they may have been Earhart's, but no definitive evidence has ever been found. And as with almost all mysteries, many think the simplest answer is the most plausible. That running out of fuel near Howland Island, they crashed into the sea nearby. And it's in that vicinity that a team from South Carolina claimed to find what may be the remnants of Earhart's plane, using an underwater deep-sea drone to capture this sonar image 16,000 feet below the surface, about 100 miles from Howland. Only time will tell if this is finally mystery solved or yet another false dawn, in which case the hunt will almost certainly continue.